what's good, YouTube? Y'all told me I gotta start checking these out. There's something I gotta start adding to the channel, apparently. Bro, listen. I don't do too well with, like, you know what I'm saying, the horror stories and just things in general that gonna get me, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, my blood boil. I'm gonna say my blood boiling, bro, because when it comes to these scary things, bro, like, bro, my anxiety can't take it, you feel me? Like, I just be like, bro, it's not even that stuff be scary, but it be like, you know what I'm saying, jump scares and the sound effects and things like that, bro. It's stuff like that gets me, bro. It's not necessarily what I'm watching or what I'm, like, listening to, bro. It just be the sound effects, bro. So if this is something like that, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if we're gonna make it through it. I'm just gonna keep it real, bro. I don't know if we're gonna make it through it, but we here anyways. We got 3 disturbing, true blackout horror stories, bro. Listen, like I said, man, it's something I gotta start adding to the channel. People were requesting it, bro. Y'all want to see a different side of me when it comes to this content stuff, so I gotta deliver it. You know what I'm saying? When we're here now, we got a 20-minute video. Pretty much. Road to 10K, man. I don't want to talk too much. This is the type of video I might not even be pausing like that. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to try to listen through it, see what we listening to. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if it's actually scary. You feel me? Like, let's actually see. You feel me? But let's see, bro. Let's see what's talking about. Let's see, bro. And if y'all hear banging sounds, bro, this shit going on outside my crib, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but I got to get this content out, bro. I ain't waiting for nothing.
It was a chilly night in early March. This happened a couple years ago now. I had just gotten home from work. I was working late that night, so it was close to midnight by the time I walked through the door. I was beyond exhausted. I wanted nothing more than to crack open a freezing cold beer and throw my feet up on the couch. So
Right,
that's
like
exactly what I did.
Okay.
Alcohol always tastes better after a hard day's work. I didn't even turn on the TV immediately. I just sat there on the couch with my eyes closed and my feet elevated, trying to ignore the nagging thoughts about how stressful my life was.
Right.
I remember getting frustrated while flipping through the channels because nothing was catching my eye.
I might speed this man's voice up just because he kind of be talking slow. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We gotta see what it sounds like talking fast.
After sifting through for another few minutes, I ultimately gave up and opted to enjoy my beer in silence. Like everything else in my life, peace and quiet was apparently too much to ask for, because not 10 seconds later, all the lights in my house simultaneously shut off.
Oh, nah.
Bro,
see, in that very moment, bro, I would have already been calling an Uber if I don't got a car. If I got a car, bro, I would have already been downtown, bro. I'm being so real with y'all, man. I'm gonna be so real, bro. I can't do stuff like that, bro. If I was ever in my crib and all the lights are shut off, and it's night, if it's nighttime, you know what I'm saying? If it's daytime, bro, I'm chilling. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'll be straight, bro. I wouldn't even, like, think of nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even, like, thinking otherwise. But if it's nighttime, nigga, I'm already out that motherfucker, bro. My keys would have already... Where my keys at? You know what I'm saying? My keys would have already been in my hand, bro. They would have already been in my hand. I would have been out that motherfucker, bro. I'm just being real with y'all, bro. I don't do that.
Slightly fuzzy popping sound that comes a split second before everything shuts off? Yeah, there's nothing I hate more than hearing that noise. For whatever reason, our house had a tendency to lose power every so often. Now that I think about it, it still does. Anyway, my first reaction was to step outside and see if any of the neighboring houses were affected.
That's your
first thought? I stepped outside and...
Bro, my first thought is leaving. Like, actually leaving. I'm not checking for the neighbors. Like, I don't give a fuck about the neighbors. I ain't gonna lie to you. In that moment, I don't care about the neighbors, bro. I'm out there. What?
Shut the door behind me, trying to preserve any heat that I might not be able to get back should I fail to restore the power. It was late, but I remember seeing at least one house on my block with their lights on, which confirmed that my house was the problem. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, knowing that this headache would definitely spoil whatever pleasure I was hoping to salvage from the night. I turned back to go inside, but when I turned the handle on the front door, it wouldn't budge. I froze, confused at first. I tried the handle a few more times, but it was definitely locked. What the hell was going on?
Bro, that was
I banged on the door and called my wife's name, thinking maybe she had woken up without me realizing. There was no answer. I tried to peer through the glass, but it was still pitch black in there. I ran around to the back. That door was locked too. I started panicking. My wife had a tendency to leave doors unlocked, so it was weird that the back door would be locked in the first place.
Hey, she would have been a single bitch, lonely bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. You have a tendency to leave the doors unlocked? Why? Like, I understand people who might have, like, tendencies to do that shit, bro. Like, I don't care if you easily forget shit, bro. I don't care. You gotta lock that door, bro. What are you leaving a door unlocked for, bro? To the crib, bro. Anybody can walk in this motherfucker, bro. I don't get that part.
I ran around to the side of the house to check the breaker, and I froze in my tracks. My hose, which I knew for a fact had been coiled, was laying in the grass just below the breaker box. The realization hit me like a freight train. Someone had cut the power intentionally. Without thinking, I sprinted to the nearest window and desperately looked inside one more time.
Bro,
this time, I was able to make out 2 flashlights swinging around wildly in the dark, as if 2 people were rummaging through my house. They were. I knew they were stealing shit. I was infuriated. The nerve of someone to do this while I was literally home. I reached into my pocket to call the police, only to realize that I had left my phone on the couch. After cursing under my breath, I told myself I'd just run to the neighbor's house and borrow his phone. As I started making my way to the nearest house, another, more sinister thought hit me. My wife was still inside.
Oh,
she was probably asleep.
Yeah, my wife is still the crib, bro.
Vulnerable to whoever was in the house. I couldn't leave her there, even for another minute. I sprinted back to my house and frantically grabbed some loose rocks from the yard. I started chucking them at our bedroom window, hoping to wake her up. After the third rock, she opened the window. Before she had a chance to say anything, I quietly told her what was happening and instructed her to hide in our closet. Her head disappeared immediately. She didn't ask questions. I then sprinted to my neighbor's house and banged on the door. I explained what was going on as quickly as possible, and then I used his phone to call the police. I waited on his porch, praying that my wife would be okay. The police eventually arrived, and I ran out to one of the cars, explaining the situation as best I could. They barged into the house, but by then, it was too late. The back door was wide open, and whoever had broken in was gone, with too many of our valuables to count. My wife was more shaken than I was, and understandably so. What she told me and the police made me angry at myself for not doing a better job at protecting her. To this day, I'll never forgive myself for leaving her in the house with potential murderers. Apparently, mere seconds after I instructed her to hide, she heard someone kick the bedroom door open. The person walked into the room and cocked a gun. He stood there motionlessly for a few seconds, clearly listening for anyone in the room. She said she had never been more terrified in her entire life. I believe the intruders heard me throwing the rocks at the window. The scariest part is that we still live in this house, and we're not planning on moving out anytime soon.
Bro, what? Gee, what? Bro, come on, bro. No comment, bro.
Sometimes I think about what could have happened had I not stepped outside for those brief moments.
Bro, no comment, G. What? Bro, you didn't move? Bro, okay, alright.
I've always lived in the shadow of my older brother. I'm not bitter about it, but it's just been the truth. He's got a successful business, and I've been trying to replicate that for the better part of 6 years now. I recently moved back in with my parents to try and find some footing. Going back home definitely felt like a step backward, but I didn't have many options. I was staying in the basement to keep out of their way as much as I could. It wasn't too bad down there, it was almost like a mini apartment. The basement had its own little kitchen, bathroom, office, bedroom, and even a TV with my old video games. With all that, I rarely went upstairs. I could pretty much live down there on my own, and it kept me from feeling like a total burden. One night, it was either Friday or Saturday, there was a pretty nasty storm blustering outside. Rain was hammering against the windows, and the wind was strong enough to rattle the whole house. I can't overstate the intensity of it. It was one of the wildest storms I had ever seen at that point. My parents were out of town for the weekend, so I had the place to myself, which was fine by me. I remember it being extra cozy down there that night. I love listening to a raging storm from the comfort of a warm bed, especially when it's late at night. There's something about hunkering down inside during a chaotic storm that really eases my mind. I was about to fall asleep to the soothing pattering of rain when the power suddenly went out. Everything clicked off at once, and I was left in total darkness. I groaned, annoyed at the inconvenience. I figured the storm must have knocked out the power, and for a second I thought about going to check the breaker, but I didn't feel...
Bro, now when the power goes out, I gotta start thinking twice, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I gotta genuinely start thinking twice, bro, because I just be like, oh, here we go again, and that's it, bro. And I get right back on my phone. I ain't gonna lie, but now, bro, watching this shit, bro.
I feel like dealing with it. Not with a storm raging outside. Besides, I was about to go to bed anyway, and I didn't really know where the breaker was to begin with. I figured I'd just wait it out and deal with it in the morning. As I lay there, trying to get comfortable again, I heard something. A loud, unnatural thud against one of the basement windows. It sounded heavy, like something had hit it hard. My first thought was that maybe a branch had come loose in the wind or a tree had fallen, but the sound was sharp and deliberate, not like anything I'd heard before. As lazy as I wanted to be, I couldn't ignore a fallen tree. That was a bit of a step up from a simple power outage. Reluctantly, I got out of bed and grabbed my phone, using the flashlight to make my way over to the window. The basement was pitch black, and the only sounds were the rain pelting the glass and the low rumble of the thunder outside. I remember rubbing fuzzies out of my eyes to try and wake myself up a little bit. I held my phone up to the window, squinting through the glass, and nearly died from my heart stopping right there. There was a man's face pressed up against the window, and he was staring in at me. His eyes were wide, his skin pale and dread.
See, like, a transition like that, bro, you gotta chill out, bro. With the sound in my ears at max capacity, bro, you gonna transition to a man staring right into my soul on this PC camera right now? I mean, on this camera. On this PC computer, bro. Like, chill. Like, I am not trying to see this shit on the screen, bro.
Wrenched, and for a split second, he made direct eye contact with me. As soon as he saw me looking, he moved away from the window. I stumbled back, almost dropping my phone in shock.
Bro.
What the fuck had I just seen? I felt my heart starting to race. I could barely breathe, but I didn't have much time to process it because a few seconds later, I started hearing another sound, the sound of footsteps. I listened closely. The floorboards above my head were creaking gently. There were people in the house. Between what I had just seen and what I was hearing, I was on the verge of losing it. I was home alone, and my house was literally getting broken into. On top of everything, one of them knew I was in the basement. I couldn't think clearly with how severe the situation was. Everything was happening so fast, but I had no choice but to act. I quickly checked my phone, ready to call the police. But then I remembered that power outage had knocked out the Wi-Fi, and with no cell service in the basement, I was trapped down there, totally cut off.
You can still call the cops without Wi-Fi, bro. Why we acting like we need Wi-Fi to call 911? Why are we acting like, I don't know what year this is, but like, bro, we don't need, or what? Like, bro, you don't got your own phone? Like, what?
I knew I couldn't just sit around and wait for these people to do whatever they'd come to do. I tried to calm myself, thinking through my options. I couldn't let those strangers just roam around my house, but I definitely didn't want to confront them head on. I was literally stuck in a lose-lose situation. I decided I'd try to sneak upstairs, skip out the front door quietly, and then call the police once I was outside. I didn't have another choice. Keeping my footsteps as quiet as possible, I made my way up to the basement stairs. I still remember the pure fear of that moment. You never know how your body's going to react to something traumatic until it happens. When I reached the top, I peered around the stairwell. My heart sank because I saw 3 figures with flashlights moving around my pitch-black house. I watched them for a few seconds, literally petrified. One of their flashlights panned across their body just long enough for me to make out what one of them was carrying. It was a gun. I froze.
Of course.
Every muscle in my body was tense. I didn't move. I just watched as they murmured to each other in low voices. That's when I heard one of them say something that escalated the situation even further, if that was even possible. In a calm, almost casual voice, one of them said, "Alex is in the basement, go find him."
You knew his name?
I can't describe the terror I was feeling. How the f did he know my name? Back down the
I ain't lying, bro. This probably your homies, bro, that's backdooring you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
stairs as quietly as I could, trying to keep my breathing steady. But inside, I was losing my shit entirely. I knew I didn't have much time. They were coming for me, and I had no idea what was going to happen once they found me. I looked around frantically, considering potential hiding spots.
I ain't gonna lie, at
There
that
wasn't
point, bro,
time.
you said my name,
I
bro, we
needed to
gotta
get the
scrap.
hell out of there in the next minute, or I was going to
What you want
die.
from me, bro?
The only possible way out was through one of the basement windows, but they were all sealed from the inside. I had no other choice. I grabbed a nearby stool, climbed up one of the window wells, and smashed the glass with my elbow. Shards of glass flew everywhere, but I didn't care. I scrambled through the broken window, pulling myself out into the rain.
Now you gonna do whatever you
I
can,
felt the cuts
bro.
all over my body, but I didn't have time to register the pain with the adrenaline and fear coursing through my veins. The downpour soaked me instantly, and I ran through the mud, trying not to slip. Once I was a safe distance from the house, I finally got a signal and called the police. I remember my hands shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. By the time the police searched the house, whoever had been in there was long gone. So much stuff had been stolen, I'm not even going to bother listing everything that was taken. The power outage had been intentional, no surprise there. My parents were livid and threatened to kick me out of the house. I basically had to beg them not to, insisting that there was nothing else I could have done. They eventually calmed down, but I'm still pretty shaken by the whole ordeal. I still have no idea who those people were or how they knew my name. I hate thinking about what might have happened had they found me.
Bro, it was your homies, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It was your homies, gang. We on to the third story. Anonymous. Hold on. Alright.
I live in a quiet suburban area, but there are a lot of more densely populated towns within driving distance of me. A few months ago, I picked up a night shift security job at a warehouse a few towns over. It was situated in this industrial space that stretched on for miles. The building itself was isolated with rows and rows of tall metal shelves and a couple of big loading docks. The work was easy. Routine checks, basic security, making sure everything stayed locked up. It was quiet,
I had a
usually
job
too
like that,
quiet,
bro, not
but
too
I didn't
long ago.
mind. I liked the solitude, and most nights I could finish my shift without much happening. It was a Thursday night and it was pouring out. I was checking my
It's always
phone
a
every so
Thursday.
often for updates on the storm, because I wasn't too keen on having to drive home in those conditions. Luckily, there wasn't much for me to do that night, so I at least had that going for me. The power in the warehouse flickered a few times, but held steady, so I wasn't too worried. But about an hour in, the power finally gave out, plunging the whole warehouse into pitch black darkness. I was pissed. I was the only employee there that night.
Bro, it's always gonna be pitch black, bro. That's always what it is, bro.
Responsibility for restoring the power was mine. I had obviously been prepped for a situation like this, but I never thought I'd ever have to actually deal with it. I stepped out of my little security room to begin the process. They had instructed me to unplug some of the massive machines before checking the breakers, so that's what I went to do. My flashlight was the only source of light in the whole place. It was honestly creepy as hell. The silence felt thicker in the dark, and every creak of the building seemed louder without the hum of the lights. My footsteps echoed like 100 times louder too, which was definitely an odd feeling. As I was patrolling one of the aisles, I heard a loud, metallic clattering echoing from somewhere deeper in the warehouse. It startled me, but I brushed it off as the storm rattling the roof or the metal shutters. Still, I decided to check it out, aisle by aisle. When I rounded one corner, I froze. A faint beam of light was moving along the shelves up ahead. It looked just like my own flashlight. It clicked off as quickly as I had seen it, but I had definitely seen it. No one should have been there until the morning, though. I felt my heart start to race. Why the hell would someone else be in here? I debated calling out, but ultimately decided against it. When I reached the spot where I'd seen the light, it was gone. The aisle was empty, just rows of crates and shelves stacked high with inventory. I started freaking out, knowing I wasn't going crazy. I knew what I saw. I had a job to do, though. I debated calling the police, but wasn't sure if what I had seen would be enough.
Bro,
I guessed
what?
there was
Bro, you gotta call them. Why are you debating, bro? At moments like this, people do too much debating and thinking about it, bro. I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
Slight chance I could have imagined it. In hindsight, had the company not equipped me with a taser, I probably would have just called the police right there. As I continued my patrol, a strange smell hit me. A musty, metallic odor, like rusted metal or stagnant water.
I see why he kept his name.
The smell was coming
anonymous.
from one of the loading bays, a darker part of the warehouse where crates were stacked up floor to ceiling. I followed the smell with my flashlight, and that's when I noticed something odd. My beam reflected off the polished concrete floor, revealing 2 sets of wet footprints leading into one of the storage aisles. In that moment, I wanted to run in the opposite direction and call the police, but I couldn't just yet. If anyone was poking around, it was on me. That was literally my job. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided...
Yeah, no shit. My nigga's still worried about his job, bro. He's still trying to do his job, bro. I'm sorry, bro. 12 will be on their way, bro. That's what's happening. The cops will be there, bro. I ain't gotta worry, bro. I'm just security, bro. You only, bro, realistically, bro, I'm probably only getting paid like 18 an hour, bro, as a security officer. You ain't getting paid too much, bro, because you're not even armed. You're not even armed, so I know you're not getting paid more than $22, bro. Like, you don't get paid enough for this, bro. So I'm trying to be a superhero, my nigga. Fuck.
Decided to follow the trail.
Bro, I see why he kept his name anonymous.
I kept my flashlight low, not wanting to make it obvious where I was. As I got closer, I started hearing faint whispers, just barely audible, like 2 people having a conversation a few aisles away. I couldn't make out the words, but something about the tone sounded tense, almost urgent. I clicked off my flashlight and held my breath, trying not to make any noise. I gripped my taser and crept closer to the whispering. As I turned the corner, I raised my flashlight to confront whoever was there, but there was honest to God no one in front of me. The whispering had also stopped, which was pure insanity. They had literally been right in front of me. How the hell had they disappeared so quickly? The whole situation had me rattled. I decided that I wasn't getting paid enough for this, so I decided to just make a beeline for the circuit room and get the power on without worrying about my other tasks. I made it there and started fumbling around with the breakers in the dark. As I was doing that, I heard something scrape across the floor nearby. I swung my flashlight around and spotted the edge of a metal tool lying just a few feet away. A crowbar.
That moment where I would have saw a crowbar on the ground, I'm out of there. Because I just feel like at that point, bro, somebody's about to come out of nowhere and just kill my ass or something, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. As soon as I would have saw that crowbar, bro, I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here, bro. I'm sorry. I realized he just came to the realization that, you know what I'm saying, he don't get paid enough for this. But, bro, why are you still there? Why are you still there, bro? Like...
It hadn't been there before. This was serious now. Whoever was in there with me had potentially malicious intentions. I yelled out that I was armed, which was kind of a half-bluff considering the taser. I needed to get out of there as fast as possible. My nerves were shot at that point, but I knew my life was more valuable than whatever consequences I'd face for leaving.
You're right.
As I was heading for the door, a loud, metallic crash echoed from the far end of the building, followed by the unmistakable sound of rushing footsteps. I felt a surge of adrenaline and started running toward the noise. I turned the corner, and there they were. Standing in the middle of the aisle were 2 figures dressed all in black. One of them was holding a crowbar identical to the one I had just walked past. They looked at me for a split second, and then, without warning, started sprinting directly towards me. I didn't think. I just turned and ran. All the confidence I had just mustered up was gone. I could hear their footsteps pounding behind me, but I didn't dare look back. I weaved through the aisles, praying that I'd be able to navigate this place better than they could. After what felt like an eternity, the footsteps faded. I paused, catching my breath, and realized they weren't chasing me anymore. Eventually, I made my way toward the exit door and stepped outside. I immediately called the police and begged them to come as quickly as possible. They actually arrived pretty quickly, which I was thankful for. Of course, those 2 strangers were long gone by then, but the officers were really helpful, and even helped me get my power back up. My boss was not as sympathetic, though. He gave me shit for running, and I almost lost my job over the whole incident. I still can't get over how strange the...
you, bro. He don't care about you, bro. He cares about his business, bro. But that's why you should have been left, bro. Because obviously, just after you hearing that, bro, I hope you're not even still with the company, bro. Because he didn't even care about you, bro. He cared about his business, bro. That's why I said, bro, you should have left from the jump, bro. But nah, bro, I care about my job, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Folks care about this shit way too much, bro. I'm sorry. I love my life more than I love my job, bro. I'm just being real with you, bro. I'm being honest.
The whole encounter was. Like, it was clear that those people were messing with me, but they still chased me with a weapon.
Exactly.
The worst part is I still work nights in that warehouse. And when my boss did start putting...
Yeah, I'm done with this, bro. This nigga's a joke, bro. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, bro, I see why he was anonymous, bro. I literally see why he was anonymous, bro. I can't do it with him, bro. Shout out Mr. Nightmare for the video, bro. Like I said, I'm going to give y'all more of these videos, but like, bro, this last story was straight goofy activity, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Roll the ticket. I'm out this